Clean Water Act of 1977, CWA. Regulation of pollutants in discharged water. The Clean Water Act of 1977, CWA, regulates just discharged water into the water of the United States and its wetlands. Discharged water must be free of specified pollutants in specified quantities. Many pollutants are measured in parts per million, (ppm). The Clean Water Act of 1977 regulates discharge of pollutants into United States waters. Formaldehyde. Chemical used in building materials, possibly dangerous. Formaldehyde is a chemical used a lot in compressed boards, particle boards, and some plywoods. The chemical is considered by some to be a carcinogen. At the very least, outgassing from building materials which use formaldehyde can be dangerous to a person's health, especially if other health issues already exist. Counteroffer. Turning an offer down with a new offer. A counteroffer is a rejection of an offer with a new offer. If a counteroffer is not accepted, the original offer cannot be returned to because it was rejected. If a counteroffer is not accepted, a second counteroffer could be prepared to match the original offer, but there is no requirement that the second counteroffer be accepted by the original offeror. The counteroffer is both a rejection of an offer and a new offer. Expansive soil. Soil which grows in volume when it gets wet. Expansive soil is soil that grows in volume when it gets wet. When it comes to real estate, the problem with expansive soil is that it destroys foundations by lifting and sinking. Non-level floors and non-plumb walls are signs of expansive soil. Open market operations. When the Fed buys or sells government bonds in the open market. The Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, often called the Fed, works to stabilize and promote a healthy national economy. The Fed does this through adjusting the discount rate, which is the rate at which the government loans money to banks to, in turn, loan to those who need loans, adjusting the reserve requirement for member banks, and open market operations. Open market operations is the buying and selling of government securities, like government bonds. The Fed can stimulate the economy by buying government bonds, which puts money into the economy. The Fed can sell bonds, which puts money back out of the economy, which pulls money back out of the economy, possibly slowing it. Open market operations are when the Fed buys or sells government securities, like bonds. Related words: Fed, Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, money supply. Abate, to get rid of, to stop, or to cease. To abate means to get rid of, to stop, or to cease. Abatement is the process of getting rid of, stopping, or ceasing. So, asbestos abatement is the process of removing asbestos fibers, (fibers so small and light they float, are easily breathed, become permanently embedded in lung tissue and cause sickness and irritation and eventually death over long periods of time, end parentheses. We didn't know asbestos was harmful until several decades had passed, but now it might be clear why it is a good idea to, quote, abate, end quote, asbestos. Abate means to get rid of, to stop, or to cease. California Coastal Act of 1976. Law regulating development of coastal land. California has 1,120 miles of coastal land. To protect this precious land, the California Coastal Commission regulates rules to develop the coast in a responsible manner. This is done through local responsibility or local coastal programs, parentheses LCP and parentheses, wherein individual cities and counties manage their section of the coastal zone, parentheses, the area of coast land, end parentheses, according to California Coastal Commission, parentheses CCC and parentheses standards. The CCC maintains control by approving or denying coastal development permits, much as a city manages building codes through building permits. The California Coastal Act is the law which established the process and procedures of coastal protection. Conditional use. Exception to existing zoning approved by city. Zoning is the concept that a city or municipality be divided into areas by use of property. Residential use means people live there. Commercial or industrial use means people work there. We separate the two because living next to a potentially dirty and noisy factory is often unpleasant. A conditional use permit is an exception to existing zoning. A conditional use permit can be requested of the City Council or group that controls zoning for a city. The result would be a residence in an industrial zoned part of town, for example. A conditional use permit is an allowed deviation from current zoning. The conditional use is the actual allowed use by the conditional use permit. Related words, conditional use permit. Environmentally sensitive lands. Lands that is an integral part of the ecology of an area. Environmentally sensitive lands is a general phrase which means that such land is somehow an integral part of the proper functioning of the ecology of an area or region. Wetlands is a good example of environmentally sensitive lands. Wetlands are defined as areas covered by a shallow layer of water. Such areas are natural habitat to massive quantities of life, and when damaged or destroyed, have a long-term impact on the ecology of an area or region. So wetlands have become protected by law to help ensure their existence for future generations of people to appreciate and enjoy. Environmentally sensitive lands are land that is somehow an integral part of an ecology. Related words, wetlands, estuary, ecosystem. Arbitration. Private judgment to settle a dispute. Arbitration is like a private court case whose decision is binding. How? Both parties agree in advance that they will adhere to the judgment. Contrast this with mediation, which is not binding, but is a search for a solution that is acceptable to both parties. Arbitration has gained popularity and acceptance as our court system has become overloaded and expensive. Most purchase agreements include arbitration clauses. Arbitration is a private judgment to settle a dispute. Related words: alternate dispute resolution.